Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. We're also going live on Facebook, so let me make sure we're set up there. All right, we're looking good. All right, thank you all for joining. People are still joining. For those of you on Zoom, if you can hear me and see me, give me a thumbs up. If you are joining in on Facebook, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the comments. Thank you all. All right, so as you all have received my emails and notifications about the Academy. So the Academy for Private Practice Startup is happening. I should say enrollment is happening right now, and we are starting Monday, June 6th. So I'm excited about that. This is our 7th cohort in 2 years. So so many have already joined. We have a few spots open. I'm really excited about this 7th group. And I'm excited about those who are joining. So many of you have the dream and desire in starting your own practice, your own IV hydration business. And I'm glad about that. I love to hear about entrepreneurship in healthcare, specifically healthcare nurses and nurse practitioners, advanced practice nurses. So excited to do this Q&A session because a lot of you, as I send out my emails weekly, a lot of you have questions. Some of you took the masterclass that we had a couple weeks ago. And so I just wanted to take some time to provide some information, answer your questions that you may have about joining the Academy for Private Practice Startup. So before we start, if everyone, whether you're on Facebook or in the Zoom meeting room, tell me where you are, where you're from. Tell me your profession. Let me jump back and forth between Zoom and Facebook here. See a few familiar names. All right, we got Memphis, Tennessee. Let's let some more people in here. South Carolina. Awesome. Okay. We only got Tennessee and South Carolina. There's so many more people here. All right, but that's okay. So yes, share as you join in, share your city, state, your location, your profession. And then I also want you to share what type of practice, what type of business you want to start. Is it a primary care? Is it some other specialty practice? primary telehealth, primary mental health, IV hydration, wellness, women's health, psych mental health. Please share with me, share with everyone what type of practice, what type of business you are interested in starting. Got Dallas, Texas, welcome. All right, IV hydration, primary telehealth, starting out, then brick and mortar primary health, awesome. Mental health telehealth, awesome. Okay. IV hydration, awesome. Direct primary care. That's what I have here in Tampa. All right. Concierge, that's amazing. That is definitely a growing market. Awesome. Okay. We got some more people here. Okay. All right, awesome. And as I am talking, this is not meant to be like, just me talking to you all. This is a Q&A session. So I'm sure you all were able to view the enrollment page, the information that's there. As I mentioned, some of you probably joined us in the masterclass a few weeks ago and heard all about the program and how it works. So really, I am here to answer your questions. So again, if you're in the Zoom room, scroll up to the top and the top of the chat, and you'll see the link to the program. Take a quick look at it, and then just shoot me any questions in the chat box. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and comment, and I will answer your questions. If you're watching the replay, just hit replay in the comment section on Facebook. All right, so if anyone has questions, as I mentioned, go ahead and start typing those questions in the chat box. No question is too small, too insignificant. There's never a dumb or silly question. So please share your questions. So as you all know, this is a 12-week program that I personally have created, developed on my own. And I basically took the steps that I used in starting my own practice to then not reinvent the wheel, but just say, okay, if this worked for me, I worked out all the kinks. I figured out what doesn't work, what does work. I've helped. We've had nearly 100 people come through the I.B.A.N Academy and do this 12-week program. So I have worked out every single week in figuring out what you need to do, what steps you need to take in starting your own practice. So it is a 12-week program. And with that being said, it is an intensive 12 weeks. So the same amount of dedication and time that you put into obtaining your degree, that is the same amount of dedication and time that you should be putting into seeing your dream come true, starting your own business. So, we all have been through some form of higher education, whether undergrad, graduate school. Some of us have multiple degrees. And you definitely want to put that same energy into starting your own business. The truth of the matter is that there is very limited ways in which you can obtain wealth, be wealthy, working as an employee, working on a job with someone, for someone. And so if you truly want to obtain financial freedom, freedom of your time, all those great things that come with entrepreneurship, you have to put in the work in starting and building your own business. And so that is what the Academy is going to help you do. So as I'm talking, again, I want to hear your questions. I'm going to briefly go through each week and what we will cover. And hopefully that will give you all an understanding. As I sent out in an email this morning, we only have 5 more spots available. So there's like between Facebook and Zoom, there's probably like, I don't know, 30 people right now, not to mention those who watch the replay. So we only have 5 spots. And the reason why I limit the amount of people who join in is because even though it is a group program, I still want to be able to help everyone on an individual level. So by no means does anyone miss out or forgotten, not with me. So I do have a limit in the amount of people that we accept into the program. So week 1, we will focus on obviously introduction into the program, and we'll do a comprehensive business name search. So I can't stress, I say this all the time, with the amount of individuals that come to me after their business is all set up, and months later, they're like, Dr. Chung, I found out that someone else has my business name, or another company has a similar name. What should I do? And to be honest, at that point, it's too late. So you definitely want to do a comprehensive business name search in the beginning of the process. And this is like let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like a 7-step process. So there's like 7 different ways you can search a business name to ensure that that business name is available for you to use. And I highly recommend that everyone go through that comprehensive way of doing a business name search. So that's what we'll focus on in week 1. We'll do introduction to the program, and do a comprehensive business name search. Week 2 is where we go into business plan development and business registration. So during week 2, I'm expecting everyone to draft a business plan using the template and the outline that I will provide. This is a template that I've used with probably hundreds of people, and it's a simple way of developing a business plan. And keep in mind, a business plan in the beginning, at least, doesn't have to be perfect. You definitely want to have a business plan because you want to have a vision, an idea, an outline of what you plan to do and where you plan to go in your business. How do you plan to accomplish the different things you want to do in your business? How do you plan to make money? How do you plan to market? Who's your target audience? So we go through all of that in the business plan. Now, keep in mind, your business plan is a work in progress. So even after you start your business, launch your business 1, 2, 3 years later, you're always going to be changing things in your business plan. Whether you actually go back and physically revise your business plan or you make changes within your business, it's always good to have an outline of your plans of what you plan to do, whether if it's expansion, rebranding, adding new services, taking away services, hiring staff, contracting. All of those things stem from developing a business plan in the beginning. And then also in week 2, after you do that comprehensive business name search in week 1, you will also do your business registration. So ensuring that you are registering your business correctly. Depending on where you live, it will definitely determine the different steps you have to go through to register your business. For some of you, it may be just registering your business with your state. Others, it may be your state, your county, your city, Department of Health, the Board of Nursing. It really depends. So what I do also for everyone is I develop a personalized business checklist. And with that business checklist, you'll have an outline based on your location. You'll have all the information that you need based on the location that you are in. And so you'll know what you need to do, where do you need to go? And of course, I'll guide you in regards to registering your business properly. Week 3, we get into financials and taxes and bookkeeping. So week 3 is really about the money aspect of your business, at least the beginning parts. You know, how you should set up a business account, a business bank account, what you should be discussing with an accountant, how you should start your own bookkeeping records. And then we'll also get into some other things in regards to how to make sure your business is financially sound, or at least that you are going to grow a financially sound business. So a lot of people, again, in the beginning of starting a business, they make the mistake of not setting up a business bank account. And I can't tell you guys how detrimental that is and can be for your business. And so we'll have a financial advisor, accountant this week in week 3. And that will come on and give some strategies and tips in regards to setting up your business accounts and making sure that you're properly keeping your books in place, how to hire other people to do your bookkeeping, making sure you have an accountant, because those things are so important in business. Week 4, we will talk about and get into the practice model, practice, business management, licensing, permits, certifications. And a lot of people always ask me, do I go over the CLIA waiver? Yes, and you know, the CLIA waiver is just like a small percentage of this entire 12-week program. And I know within the past year, a lot of you or even people you know have found that should say been an increased interest in obtaining a CLIA waiver for obvious reasons. One of those being doing COVID testing, but you know, going over the CLIA waiver and the application process and ways to make sure that your CLIA waiver application is not rejected and delayed and things like that. That's always been a part of our program. So that's included, as well as there's other licenses and permits and certifications that you may need. Again, a lot of this is based upon location. So again, I am personally doing the research. Everyone that joins this program, wherever you are, Wisconsin, California, New York, Florida, Texas, I don't care. I am going into looking into the state, even your local and city guidelines, and seeing what you will need. And of course, I am also going to teach you how to do this research, how to find out certain guidelines and regulations within your own location. So you will be doing it, I will be helping you, and it will be done getting through this 12-week program. So that, and then practice model and management, that's where we develop and figure out your niche. What type of business model are you going for with your practice? And I like to say, I don't want anybody to just say, oh, I'm doing primary care. There's so much you can do within primary care. And believe it or not, when you narrow down your focus in your practice model and you figure out how to specifically target a specific audience, you are more likely to make more money doing that versus trying to serve every and anyone. So we'll narrow down your niche in the practice model. Practice management is where we'll go over different applications and systems and tools that you'll need to properly manage your practice, as well as I mentioned, the licensing and permits and certifications. Week 5, we'll get into business legalities. We will have a guest speaker attorney in this section, I should say this week. And week 5 is very important in a lot of different reasons, because being a healthcare professional and a business owner, you really literally have like double the risk. So not only do you have to protect your license, you have to protect your business. And so you want to make sure that you have everything you need and you know everything you need to make sure that your business is legally sound. So we'll go over a lot of different business legalities and things you should know in week 5. Week 6, we'll get into the introduction to credentialing, billing and revenue management. And for my students that are planning to only do cash pay services, this is important to you as well. So don't tune this week out just because we're talking about credentialing, because I can't tell you again how many current business owners, current practice owners are, you know, bringing in a lot of money in their practice, but don't know where the money is going. Money's coming in and money's going out, and they have no idea why they don't see the profit. And it's because they don't have the proper plan into managing their billing and their revenue management. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into what you need to do as far as to start the credentialing process. And then this week we'll also, in week 6, we'll also cover collaborative physician and medical directors. So this week 6 is for everyone. If you don't need a collaborative physician or medical director, you need to know revenue management. If you don't want to do credentialing with insurance companies, you still need revenue management. So week 6 will cover for everyone. Week 7, we'll get into federal and state credentialing and also subcontracting opportunities. So again, don't worry if you're not interested in doing any credentialing, because I am also going to be covering subcontracting opportunities. So I know a lot of people I see across Facebook groups, everybody wants to get into government contracting. The truth of the matter is, it takes a lot of years in business and a really, really, really robust business portfolio to get a government contract. So it is actually more attainable to find opportunities for subcontracting for your practice, your business. So you definitely want to find out and know that information that I'll be sharing in that week. What are we up to? I think we're up to week 8. Week 8, we'll get into private insurance credentialing, insurance and cash billing and reimbursement. So this is an extension of what we will cover in the previous week, but going a little bit more deeper. Whether you want to do your own billing or you want to hire a biller, it's very important to know how to price your services, create a fee schedule, and make sure that you are collecting all monies, whether they be co-pays, cash payments, recurring payments, insurance reimbursements, and whatnot. So we'll cover that in week 8. Week 9, we'll get into practice forms, patient forms, documents, policies, and procedures. I will definitely have a lot of resources in policies and procedures, how to basically develop policies and procedures for your specific practice, your specific business, how you can customize consent forms, patient forms, registration forms, and, you know, making sure that you have all those legal documents in place before you provide any treatment to a patient, as well as your collaborative physician and medical direct agreements, what you should have in those agreements, what you should not have, what you should, you know, what clauses you should have in your agreement. So you want to make sure that you keep your business protected. Week 10, we'll get into business branding. So this week is a little bit more creative and how you want people to see your business, to see your practice. I feel like branding is overseen a lot when starting a business. and people see branding as just, oh, I have a logo, oh, I have a website, I'm good to go. But if people just see a logo and a website, that does not mean they're going to book an appointment with you. And so branding really also includes you as the business owner. Branding also includes your staff members when you will hire staff. And so how to properly put yourself forward as the healthcare expert in whatever type of services you're offering. People want to be educated. They want to learn information. They don't just want to be sold on something. So the business branding week in week 10, we'll go over that and how you properly not just brand your business, but also brand yourself as the expert in your field. And then week 11, we'll get into marketing. This is also one of those weeks that it's very content heavy just because there's a lot that goes into marketing. And pretty much all throughout the 12-week program, we will be discussing marketing to some degree, but really in week 11 is where we really hone down in how to prepare to start marketing even before you launch. You want to start marketing and also techniques and strategies you should use before you actually spend any money in marketing. So again, a lot of people make the mistake. They go out and they hire these marketing companies who know absolutely nothing about healthcare or marketing a private practice or IV hydration business. And they say, oh, you know, we're going to help you get 100 patients in 100 days, and we're going to help you do this, and you need to do Instagram reels, and we'll pay us and we'll help you, and that's how you get patients. So don't get caught up in any of that, especially as new business owners. You really shouldn't start spending money on marketing till about maybe 3 to 6 months in after your launch. Is that where you should really start pouring in money into marketing? So we'll cover that in week 11. And then the last week of the 12-week program, we're getting to staffing and contract employees, business audit and pre-launch planning. So things that you want to do before you launch your business to really create a buzz and really get network and use your network to bring in people into the practice or draw people into what you are doing in your community online if you're doing health, telehealth and whatnot. Okay, so that is the entire outline of this 12-week program. For those of you who are just joining in, this will be recorded and available. This will be available on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, I will be able to send out the link to the recording. So don't worry, you can definitely watch this and review it later on. So I'm just gonna check for questions and comments. Let's see. All right, so we got some questions here in the chat. Pull that screen back up for everyone to see. All right, so questions, let's see. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to retype the link to the program. The costs and payment plans are on the page, the enrollment page. And because this is recorded and the price is will change is the reason why I am directing you back to the website. So go to www.ibanurses.com/the academy, and you will see the information for the cost of the 12-week program, and as well as the payment options. All right, and someone's asked, do I have to be a nurse or can I hire nurses? Great question. So whether you are required to be a healthcare professional or some type of licensed healthcare provider to open up your own practice does depend on your state laws and regulations. So for the person that asked that question, great question. It does take some research. If you are not currently a healthcare professional or a licensed healthcare provider, it takes some research into your state laws and regulations. Obviously, if you're providing services for healthcare, if you are not a healthcare provider or healthcare professional, you would have to hire or contract healthcare professionals to work within their scope of practice. But in regards to learning the business part, the business process, startup process, anyone is welcome to join this 12-week program. All right, so someone said, in Ohio, lots of challenges with finding a collaborative physician. Many want to charge high prices, and with startups, likelihood of profit initially not low. That definitely, that's definitely a valid comment. However, I will definitely say that it really depends on the collaborative physician that you are connected to. We do have the Collaborative Physician Network, and in which we will assist you with finding a collaborative physician. And that is still one of the bonuses that I am making available. So for anyone that joins the 12-week program, we will help you find a collaborative physician from our network at no additional cost. I would say on average, if you're doing primary care services, on average, collaborative physicians will charge anywhere from, or I should say, expect to be compensated $500 to $750 a month. We typically have a lot of our physicians that if they're collaborating with nurse practitioners, they will accept $500 a month. If you are doing any other services such as IV hydration, aesthetics, if you're prescribing antipsychotics, if you're doing primary mental health, then that number could go up. But there's no set number, to be honest. It's really about negotiating, in which we help to do that negotiating. So I definitely would recommend connecting with us in the Collaborative Physician Network before signing any agreements or agreeing to any rate with any other physician that you may have contacted. And you can get more information about that, collaborativephysiciannetwork.com. But keep in mind, if you are enrolling into the 12-week program, we are not charging anything additional to match and connect you with a collaborative physician. And we are working to get a collaborative physician within your budget, as long as your budget's reasonable. So if you're telling me, Dr. Chung, I'm starting up a med spa and I'm doing Botox and fillers, well, the likelihood of you using or getting a collaborative physician and paying them $500 a month is very low. So you do have to be reasonable. You do have to be realistic. Some physicians, we are able to get them to agree to a lower rate for maybe the first 6 months that you launch, so that you can work to get your clients and your patients. So somebody mentioned that they want to join our program and they want to partner with a nurse practitioner as a business investor for a med spa. So definitely reach out to me. I see you're in Florida, so send me an email or reach out to me, and then we can talk some more about that. There's opportunities. There's a lot of non-medical business investors who invest in business startup. It's us as the healthcare professionals who know about healthcare, who know everything that we need to do to provide great and quality healthcare. We're the ones that are afraid to start our own businesses. But there's investors in healthcare, non-healthcare business related professionals that are investing in starting up IV hydration businesses and urgent cares and med spas. So, and not to say about anyone here that's not a healthcare professional, I'm just saying that you as healthcare professionals that are listening in, this is now the time. I know a lot of you have been following me and, joining in on different things I've done over the years. But this program is designed for you as healthcare professionals to be able to get the outline, the blueprint to start your practice. So for the person that asked that question, I am going to send you a message there. Someone asked for the state of Florida, if you have autonomous license, do you need a medical director? So if you, again, this is definitely going by your state laws and regulations. So technically, if you have autonomous practice and you're practicing and providing services within the scope of that autonomous practice license, you do not need a collaborative physician. But keep in mind, I'll use Florida as an example. Aesthetic services do not fall under autonomous practice in the state of Florida. So in that case, you would still need a collaborative physician. Great question. I'm going to check Facebook, see if we have any questions there. Feel free to post your questions in the chat or comment on Facebook. You can also message us on Facebook. If you don't want to post your comment publicly, that's fine. If you don't want to post your question publicly in the chat in the Zoom room, just feel free to direct message me in the Zoom meeting room. All right, let's see. Price. Someone said price seems fair for collaborative assistance. What does that cover specifically? So if you're talking about using our service outside of the 12-week program, that covers us assisting with finding you a collaborative physician or medical director based on your requirements. So based on your state laws and regulations, location, we will find a collaborative physician or medical director for you. So that's what that covers. Someone said for the 12-week program, do you get to learn where to apply for your permits for the practice? Yes, that information we will assist you with in regards to what licensing or permits or certifications you need. I think I missed a question. Someone asked, when is the next 12-week program if you can't be in this one? We don't have dates yet. If you are on our email list, we pretty much usually just a couple weeks before we open enrollment. That's when we let everyone know about future open enrollment, but we don't have any dates yet. All right. All right. Any other questions? If you joined late, you can definitely catch the replay. We'll send that out. And or you could catch the replay on our Facebook page, International Business Association for Nurses. After we end the live, the replay will be available. Also, if you have any questions about joining specifically, so if you are interested in enrolling, go ahead and you go to that website link in the chat box on the Zoom room. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, that's www.ibanurses.com/the academy. And then also on that page, you'll see a link to schedule a call with me if you have any other questions or any concerns about enrolling. So someone asked, what's realistic for starting our budget? So that again, that's one of those things that's a little difficult to answer because it may depend on your location, the types of services. Are you starting in an office space? Are you starting via telehealth? Are you starting mobile? So I would say, someone could start their practice with as little as $2,500 to $5,000. A med spa in a very affluent neighborhood or city could definitely startup cost could be upwards of 10,000 or more. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play as far as what you need for your starting budget. But here's the thing I'll say about starting. Because the truth of the matter is, you may never have all the money at once to start. So what you can do is what you have, you start with that. So you say, okay, my business registration costs $100. I could do that. I can, do some applications, some permits. Those cost a couple hundred. I could take care of that. Okay, maybe office space is a little costly. You could start offering your services mobile or via telehealth, depending on the services. So I'm a believer in getting things done with what you have versus spending years and months and waiting until, you try to have everything at once. So that's a personal opinion. That's not professional advice. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to starting anything in life, business, school, new job, anything. You use what you have, work with what you have, and you can get it done. Another thing I want to mention is that during the 12-week program, we meet, we have planned meetings every week. So those meetings will depend upon the majority of the group's availability. So we usually meet weekdays, during the weekdays, in the evenings. If the majority of the group is available, I to do meetings on Saturday mornings or late afternoons. Early afternoons, we can do that. But do not worry about that because all of the live group meetings are recorded. So everything's recorded live. You have lifetime access to all of the content, all of the meetings, all of the information that you'll get. You don't pay anything additional to receive that information or keep it. So you have lifetime access to get that information as well. So someone asked, with telehealth, how do you market yourself and stay in the game? There's tons of competition. Well, that's with everything. I feel like there will always be competition, but one thing you have to realize is that someone's looking specifically for you and the types of services you're offering. So if you are just planning to say, I'm just going to do telehealth, and try to market everyone, then that's where it becomes harder to do marketing. But if you say, well, I'm going to offer telehealth for busy healthcare professionals, I'm going to offer telehealth for busy professionals who don't work normal hours, I'm going to offer some type of convenience care via telehealth, or I'm going to offer primary mental health for busy women entrepreneurs that feel overwhelmed and stressed. So do you get where I'm going? Is that you have to find your niche. Until you find your niche, then you will see how your target audience will be customized for you versus trying to market your services to everyone. So I hope that everyone understood what I was saying there. And those are one of the things that we talk about in week 4, when I talked about practice model, finding your niche, honing down your services and the audience that you want to focus on, as well as in the marketing week, we'll also be talking about that as well. All right. So again, I have my contact information. We put it in the chat box. You can go to the enrollment page. There is a link on the enrollment page if you have any questions and want to book a call with me in regards to enrolling, and then we can walk you through the enrollment process. So please go to the enrollment page to find all the information about the 12-week program, the cost, the payment plan options we have, as well as the full 12-week curriculum. And there is a link to schedule a call with me. So we've been on for just a little under an hour. I promise I was not going to make this long. Thank you all for joining. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at I.B.A.N Nurses, as well as you can visit our website and other services that we are offering, IBANurses.com. And to find out more and join the Academy, we are starting June 6th, which is next Monday, www.ibanurses.com/the Academy. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope to see you all next week.